Alright, question number 3. From the question sentence, we know this is inferences question. And the strategy is to make sure the blank stays very close to the passage and concludes what we know from the passage alone. That means the correct choice would stay on topic and only focus on the ideas or premises mentioned in the passage. So now let's read the passage together and make sure we know what kind of topic is currently being focused on. So first sentence says that we have a lot of children dying because of poverty. And then second piece of information is very different, but then we can see that this is about having some natural resources and they're worth a lot of money, but also they cannot use the resources because there's not enough infrastructure to do that. And the third piece of information is that they do want to solve the problem of children dying a lot. So whatever is going to come up in the choices has to be on these topics. So to recap, children are dying because they're poor and they have a lot of resources that can raise a lot of money, but they lack the technology to do that. And they want to prioritize the children's well-being. All right, choice A. If the minerals were to be mined, which means if they can overcome the lack of infrastructure and then get to the resources, there would be enough money to raise the standard of living. And we know the resources are going to be very profitable. So when they can have the money and they want to prioritize children's well-being, then the standard of living can probably be the way they use the money because this is so urgent. Alright, so it stayed on the topics mentioned in the passage and it connects the two topics in a logical way. Let's move on to choice B. People in Afghanistan are currently mining the minerals with more ineffective or dangerous machinery. We cannot know this from the passage alone, because the only thing about the machinery that we know from the passage is that there is not enough infrastructure. That means we cannot infer that the way they're mining can be ineffective. And second of all we know is that there's not enough infrastructure. So how do we know that people are currently mining? I mean, we understand that this is a very dire situation and people probably are trying to fix it. But then this choice goes against what we know about the lack of infrastructure. So even if it's true, the passage does not provide enough information to support it. So we don't know this and we don't know that. Let's move on to choice C. The country is spending its money on addressing the problem of poverty rather than extracting the minerals. So both topics are mentioned. Problem of poverty and the minerals, but then the connection between the two of them is that one is receiving the focus and the other is not. But then we don't know what the country or the government is trying to do about the situation. So this choice introduces a topic that is not directly mentioned in this passage. We only know that this is about the ubiquitous poverty and the lack of technology to do the mining. What the country is doing at this moment, we have no idea. Alright, last choice. Children's mortality rates in Afghanistan would encourage foreign companies to invest in the country's infrastructure for mining. Okay, again, we have both topics. Mortality rates, infrastructure for mining, but then the topic never mentioned in the passage is introduced, which is foreign companies' interest in investing in the infrastructure. Again, this might be true if we have additional information from another passage to support it. But from this passage alone, we have no idea what foreign companies want to do about this situation in Afghanistan. So there you go.